Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam Tajati ante kalevaram Tam tam evaiti kunteya Sada tad bhava bhavita. Yam yam, whatever. Vapi, at all. Smaran, remembering. Bhavam, nature. Tyajati, gives up. Ante, at the end. Kalevaram, this body. Tam tam, similar. Eva, suddenly. Eti, gets. Kunteya, O son of Kunti. Sada, always. Tat, that. Bhava, state of being. Bhavitaha, remembering. Translation and purport by His Divine Guest A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Purport. The process of changing one's natural nature at the critical moment of death is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. This is a point we should note very carefully. How can one die in a proper state of mind? Maharaj Bharat, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life, and so in his next life he was transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that animal body. Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If one's present life one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendently absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutle Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Praschata Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone can repeat. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So Prabhupada is saying in the middle of the paragraph here that this point is to be noted. And what is that point? That point is very good. Yeah. Whatever state of mind you quit your body in, that's what's going to decide where you end up next, right? I can keep this microphone keeps going down. So, how are we going to remember Krishna at the end of life is the question, right? Because the slok before that you all heard yesterday, Anta Kale Chamam Eva Smaran Muktava Kalevaram, that at the end of life, whoever remembers me comes to me, right? So there is a process, and that process is uniform. Right from Lord Brahma going down to Srila Prabhupada in Tompkins Square Park and us here, the process has not changed. Right? It's the same process. There's no change in the process. So we have to think, how can we make that process functional for us, practical for us, so that we, in time, place and circumstances, we can make it happen in our life. That is very important, So here example is given that Maharaj Bharat, this is a very, common example that everybody loves to use, because you can see that Maharaj Bharat was such an exalted personality, and although he was so exalted, just that one last momentarily diversion in his thought. He was a great king, Chakravati Raja, not just king of one state in India or all of India, the whole world. And yet he gave up everything. He just showed by example how one should renounce everything. So it's a great example how we should renounce everything, right? And then when it came to that last moment, he shows by example that if you simply, by default, don't remember Krishna, but you remember something else or someone else, accordingly you will take birth. So if a man is thinking of his donkey, the chances are he'll become a donkey in his next life. If somebody is too attached to a donkey because the donkey's been carrying bricks and all the load every day, right? It's very. What he's saying is that your life and your activities in your life builds up to the last momentarily thought, the thought that you think of at the last moment, And sometimes just not being able to be focused, like Chakora bird. Have you heard of Chakora bird? You see the Chakora bird, what it does is it sits on the tree at night and it holds on to the branch, and somehow or another that bird is very attracted to the moon. So what it will do is it cannot take its vision away from the moon. So moon is like this and it's going like this, the bird will go like this. If the moon is going this way and the bird is watching, it will go like this. It will not jump from one branch to another branch so it can be comfortable. The neck will go this way, that way, anyway, whichever way there. Once it sits and it's watching, so it may be watching like this and might go like this, it will go like this, but it will not change its position. See how fixed the Chakora bird is, because it's attached to the moon. Somehow or another it has that very deep-rooted attraction for the moon. And that example is a very unique example in the sense that, like, even in the body of a bird, if you are attached to something or someone, then that is a very dangerous thing. You can break your neck. And in this case you can break your life, life after life. We don't know how many lives we have been through and how many more lives we want to go through, That's why when we sing the Guru Puja, and we all sing like parrot fashion, it's, no offense to anyone, but it's a natural tendency, sing Sri Guru Charan Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bandho Moi Savadhana Mate. So his very first line sing Savadhana Mate. That means be alert. Guru Kripa is there. Guru Kripa is there unlimitedly. It's flowing all the time. Just like the river is always flowing and it's going towards the ocean. That Kripa is always flowing from Guru to us. And Guru is also warning in the first line that Savadhan Riye, be alert, be cautious. It's very easy to slip away. And then if we stick to the Guru's mercy that is coming our way, then we come to that process whereby it says Dibya Gyan Ride Prakasito. That means through practice of chanting the holy name, through practice of following the sadhana bhakti, practice through preaching activities, whatever the Guruji blesses us with, when we follow those things, then he will connect us. We chant every morning also, Chetodarpan Majanam, right? But how seriously do we take that? Chetodarpan is very important for us. Yes, it's cleansing all the time. But you also have to be savadhan, right? Because if you're not savadhan, you're cleansing, but then you are doing like an elephant business, throw some more mud onto it. That becomes dirty again, right? You're chanting Hare Krishna, and then you see somebody you like or somebody you know, and then Krishna goes out of the window and says, Hari Bol Prabhu, when did you come? Right? It's a very natural thing. Very rare you see devotees are really. So like, we have to be like the chakora bird, It can be another attractive bird passing, somebody may dangle a cherry or a berry in front of the bird. It doesn't matter, it doesn't affect the bird at all. So we have to become like that, And once we start chanting, what happens is when Divya Gyan arises within our heart, when you start beginning to feel that, you will sense it's different, It's like prasadam, the mahima of prasadam is very powerful, That prasadam is different from bhog, bhoga, right? We cook something and it's also the same item that you put on the altar and you offer it and you take it off. It looks the same, right? But how many times you hear people come to the temple or come and take prasadam with you, and sometimes how many times you also yourself feel that there is something very special about this prasadam. It tastes different. The fragrance is different. Why? Because when we offer, Krishna is so kind that Krishna will actually test that prasadam with his lips. He said he actually tests with his lips, And that's why, the bhoga becomes prasadam. So that same way, the sound vibration is so unique, It's when you are chanting, you're bringing out that energy from within us. That's connecting us to Krishna. The sound vibration initially is just a sound vibration, but somehow or other it attracts us, maybe just mechanically. But then as you chant, after some time, you start feeling the different vibration. And that's why you feel that difference, is because your Swarup Sakti, your energy, that extraordinary power that is hidden within each one of us. We all have that extraordinary power. And that's hidden within us and it's beginning to arise, it's beginning to awaken. And when we awaken that, then it becomes like, it helps us to become more fixed in what we are doing in our chanting process, And therefore, when the chanting becomes like more profound, more spiritually connecting to us, it becomes very contagious, You think COVID is contagious, right? But COVID is nothing compared to the holy name. If you look at the COVID, people when they get contaminated by COVID, there is suffering, there is fear, what will happen to me, right? And there is misery. Basically overall, COVID contagiousness means misery, It means misery for the person, it means misery for the family members. However, when you become contagious with the holy name, what is there? Blissfulness, right? You become very happy. Okay? And there is no more fear. Then gradually it comes to a stage where you don't even fear death. Because even if we are not great philosophers, even if we are not very highly educated, when you chant the holy name, that spiritual knowledge will awaken from within also. You do not have to be a great time reader or great time, scholar. Simply by being surrendered to the holy name, Krishna will awaken that consciousness in us. He says, Dadami, Buddhi, Yogam, Tam. He gives us that knowledge. He gives us that, help whereby we become more and more connected to Him. So that's very important for us, that we chant the holy name with love and dedication. It's so important that we don't take a chance and say, well, I was sick or this or that. We have so many excuses. The mind is always ready to be full of excuses. Why not to chant the rounds, But actually, we should be full of good reasons as to why we should chant the rounds, It's like, when a child goes to school and as a student, he has to work hard for some time. Initially, he doesn't understand the value of it. Just like a child who's born in a rich family also doesn't have that understanding of the value of the wealth that is existing, because it's growing up in that environment. So it's natural. I need a car. I say, oh, get the car. I need this aeroplane. Okay, I can go in the aeroplane, fly, whatever. Because they're just used to using the card But as the child grows up and starts taking over the family business, it begins to understand the value of the wealth that they have. That if you're not careful, you can lose your value in one night. All wealth can go in one night. It's like there's so many things going on in the media that whereby you can put your money in the shares, and at midnight when the stock exchange is making all the changes, suddenly your million can turn into 100. Right? And if you're smart enough and you have taken proper advice, your 100 can also turn into a million. So it's the knowledge that helps us to get to that million. It's the knowledge that gets the child after several years to get a certification in whatever profession they are going for. So likewise, the patience is required, endeavor is required, that we can also by endeavor, seriously endeavoring in chanting the holy name, we can get to a stage whereby we are not in the same state as Bharat Maharaj. Of course, Bharat Maharaj was a great personality, and he was a chosen one as an example for us. And how do you know that? How do we know that? Because he remembered the past even in the form of a deer, right? He didn't forget. Like an animal is normally very ignorant by nature. It's just like a child, But Bharat Maharaj, when he took birth as a deer, he could remember. And then he takes birth as Jad Bharat, he also remembers everything, And see how a great personality is that when he meets Maharaj Raghugan, he is also able to preach to him and bring him to that level whereby he also gets uplifted in his Krishna consciousness, So that way, when we look at the pastimes of Maharaj Bharat, from being a king to a mendicant to a deer to Jad Bharat, and then finally going back home, back to Godhead, we can understand that he was the chosen one to show us by example, To show us by example that if you are not Savdhan, right, then you will fall into the same trap. And once we fall into the same trap, Manushya Nam Sahasreshu, right? We don't know how many more hundreds or millions of births you have to go through to come back to this, to get this rare opportunity. So don't aim for the Sahasreshu number of lives. We have very little idea or no idea. I say very little idea because of the science that is in front of us, given to us by Srila Prabhupada, that we can understand this is what happens, But otherwise we have no idea. And if we are not careful, then again we will slip and again we'll fall down. So there are great personalities like Bharat Maharaj. There was also another example in Gujarat, where I come from, and it's a common known, pastimes of some spiritual masters. Just like if you go in the Braj, you go into different villages, then different villages will tell you pastimes which you don't normally hear, Maybe the common ones are there, but there's so many small things that they will tell you. Just like if you go to Bandirwan, when they offer prasadam to Krishna, they don't do it like us. They don't do like, okay, offer, they wait for 10-15 minutes, take the offering, mix the prasadam, clean the plates and put the plates away and then you eat. No, they will make Krishna's plates and then they make their plates. And then they all sit with Krishna and they eat prasadam at the same time. Do you know why? Because that's the pastime that Krishna performed there. So for them, Krishna is like their family member. So they look at him differently, right? So if you go there and you think, well, is it offered? And you want to be like your Kesi style then it won't work there, because they say, no, you have to eat with Krishna. Here everybody is with Krishna, not afterwards, So this one guru, he was very elevated, and he told his disciples, this again is the same similar examples, if yam vapi smaran, whatever you think at the end of life, it can be very tricky. So he told his disciples that now I'm leaving the planet, Many people can actually tell, those people are really elevated, they can tell that time has come for me to depart, So he told the disciples that I will depart, and when I depart, after some time, when I reach Golokdham, the flowers will rain from the sky. That will be an indication that I've reached home, basically, It's just like when you're going to your destination, you say, I'll call you on the phone and let you know I'm home. So that was the cell phone connection that way, However, what happened is that when the spiritual master left, they were waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing's happening. So now everyone is, becoming curious. But there was one disciple who could meditate, who was very elevated. And when he meditated, the spiritual master had left the body. He was lying under a tree. And that tree had berries, sweet berries. And as he was looking up, somehow or another his mind went into that berry for a moment. That those berries he had eaten all his life, remember? Whatever you do in your life is very dangerous if you're not careful. So his mind became absorbed in that just for a moment as he was leaving his body. So what this disciple saw is that now the guru is a small bug sitting in that berry and eating the berry. So this is what I've heard, this is what it goes, and then this disciple was so advanced that he could chant some mantras, take some water, and liberate the spiritual master, and then the flowers rained. Now what we can learn is several things from there. Is one, again, be careful what you do at the last moment of your life. If you want to be able to think of Krishna, you cannot say, oh, it's so easy. That's all I have to do is remember Krishna, I'll do it. Right? But how many of us know that Ant Kaal Kabhi Aane Wala, what time is going to be my last moment, Right? Nobody knows, really, except for maybe a few very elevated souls, And so, throughout our life, we have to practice Krishna's, connection with Krishna. And chanting is, of course, very profound thing to do. And being absorbed in devotional services, the way Srila Prabhupada has given us, is very important that we follow his instructions, follow his guidance. Prabhupada gives an example. This morning's Prabhupada's quote said that, if you drop something in the water, and if you move the water, then you will not be able to see where it is, right? So when something drops in the water is already moving. So you have to be patient for a few minutes. Then the water becomes steady, then you can say where your coin is, or where your golden ring or diamond ring has fallen, and then you go and take it out, right? So similarly, Prabhupada is saying that, there will be challenges in life are always there. Padam vipadam, there is always challenges in our life. So Prabhupada is saying that when you have challenges, just become absorbed in kirtan and become peaceful. Become peaceful and Krishna will guide you, If you want Krishna to guide you, simply chant the holy name. If you want the mercy of Guru, glorify the Guru. Why? Because Guru is the backbone of our spiritual life. Right? Can you imagine, just imagine for a moment, if you didn't have any bones in your body, what would you become? A lump of flesh bouncing around, right? You won't be able to walk, right? So that's just a metaphor, but the reality is that is where the Guru stands. He is the backbone of our life, Guru Kripa is always flowing, and in order for us to just get the blessings of that Kripa, is all we have to do is glorify the spiritual master. Glorify Krishna, And you'll be surprised how many things will happen. Just by glorifying spiritual master, so many things happen. So in this case, the spiritual master, he is showing by example that this is what can happen to you, and he's also showing to his disciples who the next leader in the parampara is. So they don't have to fight and argue as to who is going to be the next representative. The one who was very advanced, he could see where the spiritual master is sitting and waiting, and then he, by his example, showed, or by his activity showed, that he is liberating the Guru also. So if we take the instructions of the spiritual master very seriously, then we can also become, spiritual leaders in due course of time. And that is what we should be doing, by example seeing, and by example learning, and then by example, giving to others, What is that was? Pathan, yajan, dan, something. Anyway, so that what it says, that when you become a devotee, when you become a Brahman, first you must learn. We must learn properly, acquire the knowledge, right? Understand it, not just memorize it, but understand it, and then put it into practice. How do you put it into practice? That you give the science to others to become better Brahmanas and better devotees in life. And that is like giving donation. When you preach to other people, when you help other people to uplift themselves, it's like becoming a spiritual master, At the same time, it's like giving a donation to other people, When you give in donation, the knowledge you have, you actually get, 10 times more benefit, put it that way, So let us take this, very seriously, that when we are chanting the holy name, we are scanning, and then when we are scanning the heart is saying, yes, I'm ready, but the mind will say, maybe not yet, right? So don't give in to the mind, listen to the heart. And the more we listen to the heart, the sooner it will become in alignment with the mind. It will help to control the mind in the right direction, Mind and our heart have to be aligned together. When they are aligned, then there is a better chance for us to remember Krishna at the last moment of our life. So I was reading why, another way of how we can remember Krishna better, It's like the Brajbasis, they are approaching Nanda Maharaj after the Govardhan hill pastimes, and the Brajbasis are asking Nanda Maharaj that by nature this boy of yours is simply enjoying throughout the day. Krishna is always enjoying, you see. Why he's able to enjoy? What is special about him that he's able to enjoy? All the six opulences, fame, beauty, strength, wealth, renunciation, like that. He's got everything in absolute form, Satchidananda Vigraha. He's got everything in completeness. So there's nothing that he has to go hankering for or looking for, We as human beings, we have this tendency that we are hankering always for something. But Krishna's got everything. He doesn't need to hanker for anything. That's why he's relaxed. He's happy, always blissful. When he sees so much suffering and everything is going on, it doesn't disturb him. But he feels compassionate and he tries to help us and makes arrangement for us to help ourselves, So here the Brajbasis are saying, by nature this boy of yours is simply enjoying throughout the day and night. His ecstasy and loving affection seem to increase every moment. We have never seen anyone with such unique, matchless beauty. You must have noticed all these things too. We beg you, therefore, to please reveal the truth about the real identity of your son. Now the Brajbasis ask, who is this boy? Who is this guy? And here Nanda Maharaj says, Maharaj Nanda laughed loudly in appreciation of the statements of the coward man. His lips refulgent with glorious sweetness. Nanda said, O respectable coward men, please listen attentively and put your faith in my truthful words. What are the truthful words? Garg Muni, who has a pure and blissful mind and who is adorned with the quality of omniscience, performed the name-giving ceremony of my son. The great Muni dispelled the doubts and illusions about Krishna's identity by stating, there is no limit to the good fortune of your son. Even the Paramhamsas who have reached the zenith of knowledge cannot perceive the mysterious truth about him. In each of the 4 yugas, your son has appeared in 4 different colors. In Satyuga, he came in white color. In Treta Yuga, in Satya Yuga. He came in white color. In Treta Yuga, he proclaimed victory over in a red color. In Dwapar Yuga, he appeared dark blue like a rain cloud. And in most Kali Yugas, he comes in a white color. Garga Muni continued, but once in a day of Brahma, he appears in a dark blue form as Krishna. And afterward, he appears in a yellow color. Right? So we are fortunate that we are just after the yellow color. By his own desire, the spiritual power, he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. Therefore, he is also named Vasudeva, and he is equal to Narayan. Those who love him become free from all offenses, experience auspiciousness everywhere, and remain always satisfied. He is the only object of love for both men and women. Out of fear of him, no enemy comes here to Vrindavan. Such nice. So, this is understanding that Garga Muni is telling us that Krishna is unique personality, and that we have an opportunity to come out of illusion. So much illusion is covering us that we are not able to understand this, even after understanding so much, hearing so much Krishna Katha for so many years, and we are still struggling to figure out how to remember Krishna at the last moment of our life. But the best way is to become like the Chokorobad, to become like the Gopis, to become like the coward boys. Every morning the coward boys were out waiting for Krishna to come out with. Who did he come out with? Cows. How many cows? Lots of them, right? It would be difficult for us to count them. 9 lakh cows. So bring this energy out from within yourself. We can all do it. There's no reason why you cannot bring your Swarup Sakti out. There's no reason why you can not emerge victorious by utilizing the brain properly. We have an eternal sambandh with Krishna. We have eternal sambandh with all the gopis, all the coward men, all the cows, all those souls that are in Golok Dham, all the great devotees that have come and gone. We have connection with them. There is a sambandh, So then we have to endeavor seriously to get to the Abhideya stage, the process. Remember, the process is none different from Brahma's time to our time, And just like Vyasadeva, when he is writing all these literatures, and he is not satisfied, he is not happy, then what does Narad Muni come and tell him? Narad Muni is telling him that you missed out on the most important aspect, And therefore what Vyasadeva goes, he goes into deep meditation, and then he connects to Krishna, and then he connects to his pastimes, and then he writes the Bhagavatam, and then he writes, the 10th canto, and then he becomes very blissful. So same principle applies to us. We have to endeavor in a very sincere way, and this process has to be followed. Process is not so difficult. Process can be followed, and once we follow the process, then prayojana will happen. Then we'll come to the stage whereby some sincere deep realization will come. And when that realization comes, then just like the chokora bird, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. You will become fixed in your spiritual consciousness. Just think this Srila Prabhupada sitting in Tompkins Square Park, where he didn't have a madanga player, he didn't have a kartal player, nothing. There was no dais, no microphone. We're so fortunate, we have all these facilities here. And he's sitting there, and he had absolute faith. He had absolute faith. He closes his eyes and he starts doing kirtan. When he opens his eyes, what's happening? So many people are there. Who were these people? Were they devotees? No. They were karmis who had absolutely no idea of Antakale Chamameva Smaran Mukta Kalevra. They had no idea of Yam Yam Vapi Smaran. They didn't have any knowledge. But because a pure devotee was chanting the holy name, that sound vibration that was coming from his lips, It was coming out with so much purity that Krishna was dancing on his tongue. And because Krishna was dancing on his tongue, he touched everyone's heart who was there. The power of purity, Never underestimate the power of purity. Purity is of great essence in our spiritual progress. And when he stopped, all these people were convinced. Nobody just started walking away. They wanted to know who this Swami was. What was he chanting? This was so unique, so special, And then, so many of them became devotees. And they helped to expand the movement all over the world, So we can also, we have to take the sound vibration seriously, and we can also give it to others very seriously. But try to fix your mind and your activity, especially during chanting, and absorb yourself 100%. Whatever services we are doing, absorb ourselves in those services 100%. Connect your activities, your services to Krishna. There should be no disconnect. Connect should be through Srila Prabhupada. We connect to Srila Prabhupada. This is what Prabhupada did under all circumstances. He was doing everything. He was cooking, cleaning, serving. In the early days, he didn't have any help. 26nd Avenue, when he started there, he used to cook. Then after that, he would serve prasadam. When everybody would go on, he would, at the age of 70, take all the plates and put them in the kitchen, sit on the floor and wash the plates. So he showed by example that endeavor is required. Now he has made a platform for us, and we keep connected to him, so we will be able to do so much more. It's by becoming active in our spiritual life, we will get to a stage whereby when we come to the last moment of our life, we will be able to remember Krishna. Because then you'll see, like Prabhupada said, when bombs were falling in Calcutta and everyone saying bombs are falling. So he said, big deal, I see the bomb coming as Krishna also. Right? Aham sarvasya Prabhu, everything comes from Krishna, so that bomb is also Krishna. He didn't start running and look for shelter, because no matter where you go, if a bomb falls on the building, you're gone. What's the chance of surviving? But if you have that science, that knowledge, and that bhav that Srila Prabhupada had, that yes, just like the river is flowing towards the sea all the time, it's already determined to go in that direction, we also have a bhava that we want to go to Krishna. That bhava is there within us, then that will happen. So bring that swabhava out of us. Any comments or questions? Yes, Prabhu.
You are now giving the example of Prabhupada, that he used to do everything by himself.
Mm-hmm.
But now in the devotees, we see we want servants for everything. We don't want to see what Prabhupada did, that we should also do. Why this mentality is of the devotee different from the Prabhupada?
Well, the way we have to take this is not so complicated. The science is there, and it has to be repeated again and again. Why do we say Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam 3 times? Why don't you just say Hare Nam once, right? Because it's Kali Yuga. So when the knowledge is dissipated again and again and again, then it starts sinking. Some people have, they don't know. You could say million lifetimes of layers here. Right? So they're chanting and one layer is going, but there's still million minus one left. Some people have 1,000 layers, right? So that is less. Some people may only have 100 layers. And some people may have no layers because they have come like Srila Prabhupada, to give to us. So rather than looking why they not, let us look at how they can be helped. It is important that we keep repeating what Srila Prabhupada has given us. You keep repeating, then and pray for them. That these devotees, they need help. I cannot help them, but Prabhupada, Krishna, Gonita, you can help them. So I am praying to you that you please help these devotees so they can make advancement in their spiritual life. That's the way forward. Otherwise, when you look at why they are doing this and why not doing that, then what happens is you also become part of a problem. If a child is crying and wants something from the top of the cupboard, right, because can't reach there, you can also sit down next to the child and say, hey, listen, I can't reach it. You can also start crying, right? The other thing is, you pick up that item, just give it to the child, and the child stops crying and you can continue with your business, you know. So this is a situation in the world that every living entity is here with variety of karmas that they have brought with them, and they are conditioned in so many different ways. So that undoing of conditioning, undoing of karma, will take time. And some people are able to move faster and make progress faster, and others are slower, you know. And we have to accept it. It's a reality. Yeah.
Yes, remembering Krishna, you were giving the Narada Muni as
Yes.
6 occurrences of
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yes.
So, and there are so many pastimes from Krishna. Just like in Krishna, there are almost more than 90 pastimes.
Yes.
So, if we remember any of the pastimes of the Lord, so that will make us observe in the Krishna consciousness. Reading, thinking about Bhagavad Gita, thinking about Krishna book, thinking about Bhagavatam. So, everything can engage in Krishna service.
For sure. See, like in pastimes are very unique. Why there is so much varieties of pastime? Because we are also a variety of humans, and we have certain attachments to certain things, you know. It's like as you grow up, somebody goes into sports, somebody goes into music, somebody goes into, you know, medicine or whatever. So when we look at the different pastimes, some people will become very attached to the Damodar pastime, for example, you know. And then some devotees will become very attached to the rasa dance. Some devotees will become very attached to Krishna killing the different demons. Some people will become attached to Krishna, you know, fighting with Kaliya Nag. Some people will become attached to doing picnic with Krishna. You know, when you read the pastimes of Krishna and the cowherd boys and how they're having fun and eating, you know. So all these different pastimes are there, and it is natural you'll become attached to one pastime. So you utilize that pastime to glorify Krishna in his pastimes all the time. Whoever you meet, you glorify, and then you give the moral of the story and the application of the story, time, place and circumstances, you know. So this is how this particular pastime of Krishna helps us. It helps me in this way. And if you do it, if you remember this pastime, you'll also benefit, you know. Because almost at the end of each pastime it says, if you remember this pastime of Krishna, you will be blessed. Right? All prayers are like that. You remember this. Why they are saying this, you'll be blessed, is basically because you will be blessed. You know, if you sincerely embrace that pastime, you will be blessed. There is no reason you won't be blessed. It's such a powerful thing.
So I always, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, I'm listening.
I always observe the pastimes of Krishna kidnapping Rukmani.
Yes.
I would always observe in that pastime, and I like the pastime to read more and more.
That's nice. Read that pastime. Every pastime you read or that attracts you, you have to see what is the positive element and what's the negative element. You know, this one thing is the positive. Rukmini's pastime is she is completely absorbed in Krishna. Nothing else. She wants only Krishna. Doesn't matter what happens. I only want Krishna, right? So Krishna goes and kidnaps her, right? But if you're not careful, you'll think, well, Krishna is kidnapping Rukmini, so I can also kidnap. Then that's dangerous, you know, right? That's not the moral of the story of the behind, or the moral behind that pastime is that, yes, become absorbed in Krishna, and Krishna will rescue you regardless of what condition you are in, you know. It's like somebody put recently on the internet that this person is completely, you know, knocked out with injection, you know, so they're in what we call ICU, you know, but through the mouth is reciting the entire Bhagavad Gita. That person has memorized Bhagavad Gita, so continuously on the lips is Bhagavad Gita being recited. Even doctors can't understand that so much injections and everything's been put to knock her out, so that, you know, whatever they're doing. But she's continually reciting the Bhagavad Gita, you know. So it baffles them also that how is this possible? You know, when we give you a knockout injection, that means you're meant to be knocked out. But that's the power of Krishna consciousness, the power of holy name. Holy name is not subject in any way to the material energy. Holy name is spiritual energy. That spiritual energy cannot be contaminated by no matter how much powerful material energy you have. On the contrary, the holy name can purify the material energy. You know. So keep that in mind. Then you'll see. You know. So pastimes are wonderful things to look into. But remember, what is the spiritual aspect, or what is the spiritual moral behind the pastime that will help you to make advancement in your spiritual life. Yes, Prabhu.
Holy name is so powerful, it's pure, doesn't get contaminated.
Right.
But then why it is said that it should be only heard from pure devotee? Or otherwise, if it gets contaminated, like a Mayavadi, we should not hear from Mayavadi, same holy name of Muhammad. So
Right.
how that, in what sense it gets contaminated?
Is the bhav. You see, so if somebody is...
So what we get the
Yeah.
power from something?
Yeah, see, if these two persons, one is A and one is B, one is like Haridas Thakur, completely connected to the holy name. So no matter what happens, he's chanting the holy name. He's being whipped, he's chanting the holy name. You take a Mayavadi and you whip him, is he going to chant the holy name? No, right? so it's a very nice question, very important question. That person who's vibrant with the holy name, he can give you that spiritual vibration. And a person who's not vibrant, he cannot give you that energy.
It cannot produce
Yeah. It's like if you say two people come to you and you say, okay, I this surgery has to be performed on a person. Anybody comes to me and says, okay, we can perform surgery for you. Two people come to me. So I'll ask them, so what is your experience? What is reputation? Because obviously they can cut my body up. So one says, I'm from John Hopkins or some well-known hospital where he's worked for last 20 years as a surgeon and very successfully. And the other guys will tell me, you know what, for last 20 years I've studied surgery like anything. I know exactly what each tool means, I know exactly what to do, but he's not a qualified certified surgeon, right? He's never done a surgery. Who am I going to go to? To the qualified person, right? So that is the difference between a Mayavadi or an atheist person who's chanting, because they don't have faith in the holy name. So it is a risky factor to think, let me go to this person because he's so popular. It can be, yeah. You go to the person who actually practices what he preaches. Srila Prabhupada was practicing everything. Whatever he preached, he practiced. By example, he showed us what to do. So that's why, thousands of people came and surrendered to him. So it's very, very important how you utilize the brain correctly. That's why this chanting and purifying from within is essential part of our activity, in daily activity, so that all the steps we take, we can take them seriously. And do it seriously means what? We should benefit, right? If you're doing something, any activity doing, you expect a return. So when you're doing this, you should be a blessings coming our way. Okay, thank you so much. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi.